Here comes LBJ!
Whether you like him or not, LeBron James is one of the best basketball players of all time. When it's all said and done and James retires from the game, he could very well walk out as the best to ever do it. However, even the very best are prone to failure at times, and even embarrassment. The King has had his fair share of moments he would prefer nobody ever remembers, as throughout his career, we've seen rare instances of fellow NBA players and teams embarrassing him badly. How embarrassing was it when a rookie dunked all over James, or when a teammate slept with his mother? Join us now as we take a look at 10 times LeBron James was embarrassed by other NBA players. Number 1. Jayson Tatum. Few players have truly dunked on LeBron James, and Jayson Tatum can proudly say he's one of them. By truly dunking, we mean getting nasty contact with the King on your way to the rim before slamming it down over him. The reason why it's so tough to get that sort of dunk over LeBron is because of his inhuman strength and near-perfect timing to jump for blocks. It was Game 7 of the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, when rookie Jayson Tatum blew past Tristan Thompson but still had LeBron waiting to meet him at the rim. Tatum didn't care and soared over James before throwing down the hammer. This huge play energized the TD Garden in Boston, but James eventually got the last laugh, as the Cavs beat the Celtics 89-77 and advanced to the NBA Finals. Still, it was a pretty dope way to cap off a rookie year for Tatum. Number 2. Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson is one of the few successful little men in NBA history, as there are not many players standing 5'9" that ever make it to the NBA, let alone have long and successful careers. Robinson is one of them, and while he never won anything in the league, he can call this the biggest accolade of his career. It was Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, when the 5'9" guard came out of nowhere and blocked the 6'8" James in a fast break dunk attempt. The block was very impressive, especially when you consider Robinson is almost a full foot shorter than LeBron. But hey, miracles do happen. Number 3. Kevin Durant. If there's ever a place where you don't want to get embarrassed, it's the NBA Finals. Not only are the stakes at their highest, but everybody's watching you on national TV. LeBron knows a thing or two about finals, having reached there 10 times in his career. But the 2017 finals were not the most memorable for James. It was early in the first quarter of Game 1 when Steph Curry made what appeared to be a lost inbounds pass from the sidelines. The ball somehow got to Kevin Durant in the corner, who looked like he was about to shoot. A nearby LeBron rushed to close out on the shot, but KD immediately drove right, pump faking the King and dropping him to the ground. Being put on skates in the NBA Finals has to be very embarrassing. Number 4. PEJA Stojakovic. KD isn't the only lethal sharpshooter that once dropped LeBron to the ground, as PEJA Stojakovic also has his claim. Now, getting your ankles broken by Kevin Durant, who is also a great ball handler that can create a shot really well, is one thing. But getting broken by PEJA Stojakovic, who barely has any handles and is exclusively a shooter, is absolutely embarrassing. While he was still with the Sacramento Kings in 2005, PEJA put a young LeBron on skates before dishing out an assist to Greg Ostertag. Safe to say, James has come a long way since then. Number 5. Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. When LeBron signed with the Miami Heat in 2010, that team promised not 1, not 2, not 3, but Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks proved to be the first roadblock in the Heatles way. In what is unanimously considered the biggest and one of the few choke acts in LeBron's career, he averaged only 17.8 points and 4 turnovers in the NBA Finals, as the Mavericks got their only championship in history at James's expense. Nowitzki had no all-star teammates, and with great team basketball, the Mavericks were able to embarrass Miami and LeBron in what was supposed to be his first championship. But it wasn't meant to be. Do you think this was the biggest embarrassment in LeBron's career? Comment your thoughts down below, and if you're enjoying the video, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like, because we can assure you, you don't want to miss what's coming. Number 6. Rudy Gay. Continuing with James's Miami tenure, LeBron played arguably the best defense of his career in his Heat run. He was just a force to be reckoned with on both ends. But during a 2012 game, then Memphis Grizzly Rudy Gay was brave enough to call an ISO while being guarded by James. Without thinking twice, Gay drove left and lost LeBron with a quick behind-the-back move that also had Dwayne Wade unsuccessfully reaching, before getting to the rim and dunking the ball in front of Chris Bosh. Extra points for Gay here as he embarrassed the whole Big Three in one single play. Number 7. J.R. Smith. Who said you had to be an opponent to embarrass LeBron? Teammate J.R. Smith did it in Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals. LeBron was having a magnificent game, and George Hill was at the free throw line with 4.5 seconds remaining, and their game against the Warriors tied at 107. Hill missed the free throw, but J.R. Smith somehow grabbed the rebound. Instead of passing out to one of his teammates, Smith rushed back, dribbling to half court, with James desperately calling for the ball. And the Henny God pretty much dribbled the clock out when the Cavs had a chance to take one last shot. Instead, the game went to overtime and Cleveland lost in embarrassing fashion before eventually getting swept in the finals. It turns out Smith thought the Cavs were up by 1 point, which is why he tried to dribble the clock out. JR triggered some intense reactions by LeBron that to this day are top-notch meme quality, badly embarrassing the king in the process. Number 8. Victor Oladipo. Now, before JR embarrassed LeBron in the 2018 finals, James and the Cavs had to go through a grueling 7-game series against the Indiana Pacers in the first round. And speaking of going through, let's take a look at how Victor Oladipo embarrassed LeBron in Game 6 of that series. The Pacers were on a fast break opportunity, and Victor Oladipo was dribbling the ball. Depot spotted teammate Thaddeus Young cutting wide open to the basket, but LeBron James was standing right between them. Still, Oladipo managed to perfectly find Young by giving him a bounce pass through LeBron's legs, with James looking confused and a bit upset. Unfortunately, Young was fouled by none other than J.R. Smith, and we got robbed of a potential play of the game. Number 9. Malcolm Brogdon. Jayson Tatum wasn't the only rookie to dunk on LeBron James, as Malcolm Brogdon did it as well 1 season prior. During a December 2016 regular season game versus the Milwaukee Bucks, James was switched on to defending Brogdon in one third-quarter possession. The eventual Rookie of the Year winner managed to blow past LeBron. But if you've seen enough of James, you know blowing by him doesn't mean he's done with you. As Brogdon drove to the basket, LeBron trailed him from behind and jumped at the right time to block him. Only Brogdon decided to do a reverse dunk, and instead jammed all over LeBron with a contact dunk. The crazy part is, Brogdon acted as if it were no big deal, going back to defend with a very calm demeanor. Any other human being would have gotten much more pumped up after dunking on one of the greatest players of all time like that. Number 10. Delonte West. The biggest embarrassment any player ever made LeBron James go through was at the hands of former teammate Delonte West. During the 2009-2010 season, James is last with the Cavaliers before signing with Miami in free agency. West was teammates with LeBron and broke the bro code in the least imaginable way. In the middle of the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals, James learned that West had an affair with his mother, Gloria James. This partly explains why LeBron had such a terrible ending to his first Cavs tenure. In his first 3 games in the East semis against the Boston Celtics, James was averaging 32.2 points, 7.3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.3 steals, and 2 blocks, while shooting 54.1% from the field and 38.5% from 3. He also led the Cavs to 2 victories. But after Game 3, when James learned about his mother's affair with West, the Cavs dropped all 3 games and lost the series with a fuming LeBron averaging only 21.3 points on 34% shooting from the field and 15.4% from beyond the arc. Needless to say, LeBron was furious with West and the Cavs, and this was one of the reasons James left to Miami. Is there really anything more embarrassing than a teammate sleeping with your mother? Did we miss any other embarrassing LeBron James moments? Which one do you think is the King's most embarrassing moment of them all? Make sure to comment down below, and as always, please leave a like and subscribe.